So I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened with XLDB in the past year, logistics, conference, and so on. So as James said, we started about 6 years ago at SLAC, small conference, small workshop, invitational only. And we actually grew it to a pretty large conference. This is the picture from last year where we had close to 300 people. And we also introduced satellite events because people from other places told us that sometimes they can't come to West Coast. So we are organizing conferences, workshops on other continents. We actually had a couple already, and we are planning the third one next year. So what's been happening in the past year since we met last year? Actually, there are many new places. So I think there are many new people, new faces. I looked at the registrations yesterday, and there's about 80% are new people, which is great because the community is growing, and there are new people, new faces, new domains. So we published the report from the workshop. The workshop was after the conference. So this is happening every year because the workshop is by invitation. We are writing a detailed report and publishing. And the topics from last year included bio, healthcare, genomics. So this is what just started last year. That's a huge domain, huge topic to discuss, and we will continue this year. We also talked about spreadsheets analysis. That's interesting. Actually, I never thought about it earlier, that you could do big data type analysis using spreadsheets, but actually many people still do it, and they really rely on spreadsheets when they analyze petabytes of data, which is quite interesting, actually. And then statistics at scales. We started talking about it. We definitely want to come back to this topic and cover it in more details, because there's a lot to cover there. Statistics are not scalable at the moment, and we don't understand statistics, so those two communities really need to talk to each other. And machine learning is another interesting topic. So we wrote this report. How many people read it? Can I get a hand raise? How many people actually read? Good. OK. I see many. OK, nice. So it's actually worth our time. Excellent. So we will write the report this year. OK. We also started using social media tools a little bit more. We've been told by the community to use them more, and so we did. So we have the blog, WordPress-based blog. We have videos on YouTube we taped last year, and it actually took a little bit longer than we expected to publish them. We were originally thinking about iTunes U at Stanford, but hey, this year will be much better, trust me. We put in contract, and in a month we will have it up on YouTube. Let's see, Flickr. We are publishing photos on Flickr, and the same will happen this year. We have channels set up already. Twitter, we've been actually using Twitter a little bit last year as well, but you see we only have like 35 tweets. Is this working? Yeah. So 35 tweets. We are going to increase it and actually start relying on it more. And LinkedIn. So we have a group on LinkedIn, and I'm sure many of you are on LinkedIn already. So I encourage you to join the group, and then let's use it as another tool to kind of reach out to other communities, other domains. And we are actually even on Facebook. I noticed someone created a group on Facebook. I'm not sure who. So the next topic, XLDB Asia. So we had an event in Asia, one of those satellite events, and it was actually pretty good, pretty successful. It was so big we called it a conference, and it was open as well. There was about close to 150 people attending, and it was a really good way to just socialize with that community, Asian community. Some people can't come overseas to our event for 2 days. So I had lots of positive news information about this conference. So I'd like to say thank you to the organizers, in particular Professor Xiaofeng Meng and Dr. Fusheng Wang, who actually realized this. So as much as we are involved in the main events, we are organizing all the logistics. The satellite events is really the local organizing committee, and they've done a perfect job with organizing everything. So I was just advising maybe twice for half an hour during the phone calls, and that's it. So back to the future, we are planning to organize next satellite event next year. It will be in Europe, and we actually already picked a place and location, so it will be at CERN. And we also have a date. So it will be 2-day workshop, invitational. And it's actually, the timing is good because maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. We have the talk from LHC tomorrow. And this is supposed to be a teaser to kind of give you an idea what they are doing with large-scale data. And of course, we will focus more on LHC during that workshop. Not exclusively on LHC, but we will spend probably about half a day or so on LHC-related data management. Let's see. And then, of course, we have XLDB2012, which is happening now. But before I go there, I wanted to tell you what feedback we received from last year. Every year after the conference, we have a survey, and we are asking for a feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like, and so on. So here is what you told us, or people who attended the conference told us. So we asked, what were your favorite parts? And number one was lightning talks, and more lightning talks. And people liked practical solutions, the focus on real world, the combination industry and science mix. People liked that we kept speakers on time, so we will try doing it again this year. Lively workshop type feel of the surveys. We will try to do it again, although not through the surveys. Leading edge industry, no sales pitches, and networking. And so this is, I mean, we got many more feedback, but this kind of shows the places where people were saying multiple times that they like something, instead of the corner case where just one person mentioned something. And then the least favorite parts, we asked about this as well. Actually, that's what we really want to hear about because we want to improve. So lack of electrical power outlets, of course. We knew, but there was no other way. So this year we improved. We have several pockets of power throughout this room. I can't remember exactly where, but somewhere in that corner, somewhere in the middle. So about 30% of this room is wired for power. So it shouldn't be too bad. And let's see, the QA sessions were too short. Yes, because we didn't know how it will go with 300 people. Now we know it was actually pretty good, so we will have more time for questions. Some people thought the surveys had little informative value, so we are changing the format. We have no longer surveys as we did last year. Better place for posters. Yes, we realized there was a wind and everything was falling apart. It won't happen this year. Let's see. I actually like the last one. Actually, none. That's a very nice, precise, short answer. Did we miss or overrepresented something? So people thought that we should focus on hardware, where the hardware is going, how it will affect big data, and we will do this. Some people thought that we spent too much time on Hadoop. Maybe it's inevitable. Yes, we actually said after the conference, we realized, there was a lot of talking about Hadoop. So we are trying to bring this back to balance. And this year, we will actually have quite a lot of presentations focusing on database type solutions. And you will see this through the agenda. And then, again, some comments, no strong feelings here, or incredibly balanced, so, which is very nice to hear. And then the wish list, what we should cover in the future. Demos and demos and demos. That was very clear that people want to see demos, real-world grand challenges. Discussion teams, perhaps over dinner. We are introducing those. We will see how that goes. Specific examples, LHC, for example, was mentioned. And then DOE and SF agencies. We've been trying to arrange that maybe next year. We have talks from the DOE labs, but not from the actual people working on the agencies. So we will try again next year to approach those people. And then other comments. I picked this one because it actually reflects what many people told me, either during the conference or through the feedback. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Please keep it the same, keep it similar, because it's working. And some people are nodding even now. So that's what we will try to do. So you pretty much already have the answer how we will run it today and tomorrow. Single track, lightning talks, plus poster session, long poster session after the lightning talks. Same focus on practical, real-world solution from users who are actually building the systems, using the systems. The industry science mix, lots of time to socialize, even more than in the past. We are videotaping and we'll publish as long as the speakers will sign the release form, of course. There's an invitational workshop just after the conference, and we will ask you to provide feedback so that we can improve things even more for next year. Improving, we will have longer talks. We will have more time for questions. And I think the venue is an improvement comparing those of you who were there last year. I think this is a really nice place. And so what's new this year? We are introducing some new things this year. Of course, demos. How could we miss it? But we are also introducing tutorials. We actually did it yesterday. And you know, the response was actually mixed. So we had this question last year. And some people said absolutely yes, some no. And some say definitely not. So it was 8-7 if you count. And others didn't have an opinion. So we went ahead, and it was actually pretty successful. 174 registered, and about 160 actually came on site. Some places were like totally full, and I think it was successful. I mean, we will ask through the survey, but based on discussions, people really liked it. And then the dinner will be somewhat different than in the past. So many people don't like to be stuck between, one person on the left and one on the right for 2 hours. So we will have the kind of non-city dinner when you don't have assigned seat. And of course, we will have many places to sit and mingle with others and change location and, stand next to a big table or small table. And we also want to introduce discussions. And so we will have like 10 minutes to plan this later. And lightning talks, we have lightning talks, but we also realized that there was about 40 people who submitted abstracts. We selected 18 best, and now we will let you select 2 the best talks, and we will give them a long plenary slot next year. So maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes to be seen. But basically, there will be a poll opened at the end of the conference, and then you will be asked to vote, and then we will pick, or you will pick 2 best talks, and they will speak next year. In terms of number of registrations, so the first 3 years were by invitation only, so it was capped at around 50, 55. We opened in 2010, and we had 150. Last year, we had close to 300 people. And this year, this is the number of unique registrations in each case per year. So this includes the tutorials. Some people came just for the tutorials. So the conference here, we expect over 300 people. Last year, it was 280 something, 84. So somewhat bigger conference. But keep in mind that we are videotaping, and people now know, so they don't have to actually come to see some of the talks they are interested in. So that also changes the balance somewhat. So those are the numbers. And then in terms of the breakdown, it's actually similar to last year. So those are the differences. So we have few more people from industry, similar vendors, academia, and science. If you add those numbers up, they do not add up to 100%. There's a small group unclassified, which actually grew this year a little bit. But the mix is similar, and we like this kind of mix. I think this works nicely. And so logistics and miscellaneous. We have a SLAC tour. There's a sign-up sheet somewhere near registration, first come, first serve. Unfortunately, this is during the sessions, as we always did. There's no other way to really fit it into the schedule. 2 hours, 1 per day. So if you're interested, sign up. There's no official Stanford tour, but really you are so close to the center of the Stanford. I don't think there's need to. You can just walk around. And if you look at the map, so this is where we are. This is where you are supposed to park if you listen to us. And you probably walked somewhere here. And we have the visitor center here, so you can always stop by, I think, before 5 o'clock or something like this. And then, or you can just walk here if you have 5-10 minutes, and there's a Hoover Tower, there's the Memorial Church, so you will, and the Oval. So you will actually see, the downtown of Stanford within 5-minute walking distance. And there are apps available for iTunes, for iPhone as well. Dinner. So as I said, the dinner will be the same place where we have lunch and coffee break, so basically in front of this auditorium. 6 to 8:30 p.m., as I said, non-seated. And display your badge. I won't tell you which dot is marked, is used to mark who paid, who not, but you can probably figure it out. So, and we have unlimited wine and all that, so really you should come. We will try to publish the slides this week. The videos will be published in a month. We have the invitational workshop after the conference. Of course, wear your tag all the times. The wireless is called Stanford Visitor. You have the sheet in the folders that you were given. Actually, you don't need this password. We improved things. We were not sure if we will manage to improve before the conference, but it happened, so you don't need the password. And let's see, we have the message board. If you have some random news, we are hiring, or I lost something, or hey, let's meet here or there, you can just use it outside near the registration. And some obvious things, no power codes through the aisles and no cell phones. And use XLDB hashtag if you are tweeting, or you can follow us, XLDBconf. I wanted to thank you, the organizing committee. They really helped a lot with realizing this conference, advising who we should invite. They helped us with reaching out and so on. So that was very useful. And I wanted to thank you, the organizers. Without them, there would be pretty much no food here, trust me. So let's see. So very briefly about the program, which I have somewhere here. So there was one change to the printed agenda. So the printed agenda is somewhat off because one speaker had to cancel for health reasons. So we have 3 speakers instead of 4 in the morning session. The talks are a little bit longer, and then I'm taking 15 minutes instead of 10. And let's see. So after lunch, we are talking about cloud computing, and then we have the lightning talk sessions with the long coffee break, actually ice cream social. And the demos will be during that session, at least the first half of demos. And then we are talking about, we have 2 talks, one from Comcast and one from driving study, which is actually quite interesting. And then we will do the dinner planning, so what topics we want to discuss during dinner, and then the dinner at 6 o'clock. And on Wednesday, we have talk from LHC and then Livermore Lab, followed by, you asked for lively discussions, so you will have lively discussion tomorrow, actually the same time where the most lively discussion happened, second day of the conference, just before lunch. So expect some lively discussion, and I think it will be interesting based on the email exchange I can see already happening. So we will be talking about how to make Hive a better DBMS. We actually renamed this topic. The original one was, is Hive a DBMS? And we realized that's too easy. And then the announcements. Those are actually different kinds of announcements. You know, we won't be telling you turn off the cell phone and don't sit in the aisles. It will be much more interesting announcements, trust me. So half an hour. And then hardware. So you asked for hardware. We were actually hoping to have 3 talks, but we didn't finalize the 3rd talk. So we have just 2, but they get more time. And then the lightning talk session, the 2nd one. And again, posters with demos at the end. And then Platinum sponsor talk, but don't think this will be a sale talk. I actually saw the slides, and it will be a nice technical talk. And we will finalize with Mike Stonebreaker's thoughts and the closeout. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if you have any questions. Are there any questions? OK, so then we will switch to Carol and first real session.